how many of you will plan to go to college? And how many of you know that you're going to join a trade? Alright. So, like Groom said, I graduated in 2018. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I was getting real nervous. As a senior, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I should go to college. I didn't even think about the trades, actually, because they push college so hard. I don't know if they still do. Do they still do that?
Not as bad.
Not as bad. So I was part of like the College Possible program. I don't know if they still have that. But I was really excited to be the first person in my family to go to college and actually graduate. I would have been the first in my family to graduate college. I thought that was going to be super cool. So I applied for 2 colleges, Oregon State and PSU. I chose to go to PSU because it was closer to home. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just went there and I went for like healthcare. I thought, oh, maybe nursing would be fun. As you can tell, I don't really care for talking to people. Well, I also really like animals too, so I thought maybe a vet would work. I was a good student, so the schooling wasn't hard for me. I got good grades, but it just didn't feel right. Like I said, I got 2 years in. I had a friend that he had just gotten into the electrical program. He was, I think, like a 2nd-year apprentice, and one day we were just going on our way fishing, and he was mentioning it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really into the whole college thing. I'm just going because that's what people told me to do, and I felt like I was just kind of wasting my time. That's just my personal experience with it. College is great. That's what's for you. So he was like, yeah, I got into the electrical program. It's really great. Got good benefits, get paid well. And I was like, I don't know if that's for me. I am a female, so there's not too many role models in my life that are females that are in the trades. I can't think of a single one, actually. My dad's a contractor, so he's my main point of like connection there in the trades. And growing up, I get to work with him quite a bit, so I have a little bit of experience over like summers, like paving, and just going on the job sites and getting experience there. So I think it was 2020 that I took the leap of faith and I went to the level 48 Union Hall and I applied, went through the whole application process, did their interviews and the testing, and then before I know it, I got accepted into the union and started my apprenticeship that June 2021. So I dropped out of college. Everybody made fun of me. They call me college dropout now. Now I'm 4.5 years in to my apprenticeship program. It's a 5-year program, so I have 1.5 years left. And I'm so happy that I made that change because I don't know about you guys, but I cannot sit in a classroom for hours and hours. I get so bored, my attention is just not there, and I'm more of a hands-on type person. I love working with my hands and being able to like build things and solve problems, and I get to do that every day as an electrician. There is schooling, obviously, as part of the apprenticeship. It's like 2 terms a year, so you get a break in between, and you go 1 day a week, and the rest of the days you're just working. So it's, personally, I think it's a lot better than just going to college. And you're getting the experience as you're going to school. So you're prepared when you go to take your journeyman test and become a journeyman. You have all the experience you need to succeed and get a job right when you go to school. Unlike college, I feel like I would graduate, get a bachelor's, and then you have to go intern possibly not being paid and for so many years, and I'm making really good money. I still have a year and a half left in my apprenticeship.
You guys got any questions?
What was it like when you first were out? Like when you first joined?
When I first joined, I was pretty green, and I do have a little bit of tool experience just from working with my dad, and I was super nervous. They had like what they call a boot camp when you right before they put you into the workforce. So you get like experience like pipe bending or wiring up little labs, and then so that was a little bit helpful getting in there. And then I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really have much experience. I could barely like swing a hammer. I still miss like all the time. You learn. You don't have to know really all the things. You're gonna learn it on the job. You're gonna have great mentors like Brad here that will teach you everything you need to know. So if you don't have tool experience or any job site experience, don't let that stop you from applying to an apprenticeship, because you're gonna just gotta show up and have a good attitude and try your best. Yeah. So there is two portions to the test, this specific test. I don't know how they do it for like the non-union side or anything like that, but it's just reading and math. I thought reading was pretty easy. The math was a little bit more difficult. Don't tell Greg.
What?
You tried really hard.
You took calculus, for God's sakes.
I know. It's basic like algebra 2 stuff, so nothing like calculus. What else we got? Yeah.
How long did it take them to reach back out to you after you applied?
Good question. So I applied, I sent my application in January, and then the whole process took, so I started boot camp in June, like 6 months.
What's the starting pay?
When I started, it was just over 20, no, it was $16, I think, 16 and some change for a first year apprentice, and then it's big hourly base, so like about 1,500 hours, 2,000, something like that. Right now, if you're interested, I'm at the 6,000 hour pay period, and they're making $45 an hour. Journeyman, they're making $63.50 on
Okay.
the check, and then you get like a full benefit package, so it's like $91.
No. Just spell it out for them. How long does it take to get to be a journeyman?
5 years.
So you could be 5 years out of high school, ish, and be a journeyman. $63 an hour.
Yes.
But 5 years from now, it'll be a lot more than that, probably. I'm no math teacher, but I feel like that's a pretty good sum of money. Okay, it's
Just
clear.
put that into perspective, that's $125,000 a year, or a little over $10,000 a month paycheck. $250,000.
With no overtime. If you get overtime,
Even more money.
That's just base pay, so, we have to put it in your words.
If you're a foreman, Brad gets foreman pay, he makes more than just regular journeyman. There's other opportunities.
Yeah, I make almost $70 an hour on the check, and that's not even counting my
How do you
my
become?
benefit package is about $118, $120 an hour. So it's really well paid for your insurance, for your kids, everything, whole family. It's a real good program. I actually started out when I got out of high school in the labor team. I worked there for probably 17, 18 years before I switched over to the electrician. I would advise you, from my experience, if you're gonna get into trades, get into one that is gonna pay you more money from the word go. I started the laborers, which doesn't make as much as the electricians, and then I had family and kids and stuff, so it was a lot harder to transition into a better program, so, go ahead.
I've heard that being like a material handler is a good way to like get you
Yep,
started.
100%.
It is
That is
for sure.
definitely helps you out for sure.
Especially when
Yeah,
applying,
question.
they're looking for people like that have that kind of experience.
And from what I've experienced, if you don't get in the first time, don't quit trying. Just keep harassing them, keep going after it, keep doing it. and eventually they're gonna get you into it. That's the way it pretty much works. Everybody that I know that's actually tried and failed, 'cause I know people that have got like 800 on the list, which is, you're not getting in at 800. So if you just keep hounding them every, I think 3 months is it, or 6 months, you can go back and retest and re-interview, and then they'll move you up that list. If you keep just trying and trying and trying, you'll work yourself up there to where they take you. It'll happen. Sometimes it may take you a couple years. It took me a year and a half to get there, but they weren't really, it's kind of like it is now, where it's slow, so it takes a lot more time. You just gotta kind of keep going after it. And electrician's not the only trade out there. I mean, there's carpenters, there's pipe fitters, plumbers, iron workers. I mean, electricians pay probably the most out of all of them, but elevators,
Yeah.
operators, they get paid pretty good money. Got real good benefits.
Did you say welders?
Yeah, welders too, electrical.
Do you have another question?
I mean, there's a lot of
Another
different trades
question?
out there, and if you don't like the one, if you start in one,
Yeah.
let's say you can't get into electricians right away, you pick a different one, right? Go that direction, and if that doesn't work out for you, or maybe that holds you over until you can get into the electricians. I mean, let's be honest, I mean, I know you guys are kids and everything, I got kids at your level right now too, but it costs a lot of money to live right now, a lot. And houses are, I mean, I don't know if you guys look at them or not, but they're astronomically expensive, so you gotta make some pretty good money right out of the gate. And I know a lot of kids that I went to college with, and I can probably name one or two that make more money than I make. Very few. It's a good program to get you started, and it's an opportunity to, where, you know, you can have your nice cars, your trucks, your houses, you know, the things you want, the things that everybody wants, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys wanna have some nice toys and fishing boats and ski boats and bikes to ride. So, you know, college is a great option. If you're a college person and you can stay in the books and not be sidetracked by the partying, it's a great avenue too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You just gotta, anything that you do, you gotta focus on yourself. It's all about you guys. You know, the more effort you put into something, the better it's gonna be for you. And for my advice, I played a little too hard when I was younger. I would advise getting your income set up out of the gate and getting kind of established, and then you can, later in life, it'll be a lot easier.
Do you have a question? We are commercial is the inside, yeah, inside, so we do commercial, residential, we can do like, yeah, industrial, we can do like the low voltage stuff too.
Yeah.
And our union has other, programs, like, we have the residential one, so they can only do residential, and then we have a limited energy, so they do all this low voltage fire alarm stuff. So we can do it all, we get paid more.
But those are actually another options. If you can't get in to the inside wireman, you have the opportunity to take one of those. It doesn't pay as much, and the programs are a little bit shorter than our program, but it's an avenue. And that work right there, if you like sitting inside where it's nice and warm every day, low voltage stuff, they pay pretty good money. And it's not real hard work. You're not pulling big wires or anything like that and working out in the rain. You're sitting on a bucket, making up connections. It's pretty nice work.
You in the back there.
Does the union find the jobs for you and then tells you where to go, or do you have to find it yourself?
Yeah, that's the good thing about the union that I found. So once you interview, you get your rank number, and then they're like, hey, you're gonna start boot camp, yada yada yada, this date. You go do your boot camp, and then right when you're done with boot camp, they send you a job assignment, and then you just go start working it. And then anytime you get like laid off, or like work slow, they'll put you back on the list, and then you just sit there, and then when they have a job opening, they will send you that job. And then, so you're never like searching for jobs yourself necessarily. Yes.
What is
Boot camp, it's a 2-week kind of like class setting, kind of like what you guys are doing now. They'll have hands-on stuff, and then a lot of basic just background classroom teaching, what to expect throughout the whole program. The hands-on stuff is like pipe bending, and they'll have like lab stations where you'll like wire up like lights and switches, basic stuff like that, just to give you a good background.
I think the other thing behind that boot camp is all you guys will learn in life is it's also to weed out the people that aren't as good. So you don't want to have people that aren't taking it seriously or going to be a real good part of the program. I mean, they're investing in each one of us as electricians, you know, and apprentices. They're paying for our schooling, everything. You know, we don't have to pay for that schooling, it's all provided, if we finish the program and we give them back in 4 or 5 years, then that's an investment to them. So they're not gonna pick just anybody off the street. You guys are hard workers and you put the effort in, that's what they're looking for. So that 2-week boot camp is also to get you, obviously see what you are with your tools, but also kind of weed out the people that are, let's say we had, like, when I went through there was a couple guys that showed up late, and they just kicked them out right off the bat. They're like, you're gone, they want to take it serious too, and you guys should take it serious, and this is your livelihood once you guys leave here. I mean, I know when I was sitting in your spot, I was like, I don't know what I want to do, I have no idea.
It's a prenup.
My dad's like, well, you could get into this, I'm like, okay. I started out making money and going to classes, and, after you do it for as many years as I did, I was like, I'm sick of this, I'm gonna do something different. So it's a lot easier to start out going in a better direction in the word go than it is to go the route that I went, in my opinion.
We do so many different things, different jobs every single day, so I never get bored. So that's another good thing for me. Yeah.
Is there constant work?
Right now it's a little slow, like Brad said, but in the 4.5 years that I've been in, yeah, it's always been real good. And right now, getting a little bit slow. I'm still working pretty much every day. Yeah.
Do you ever come to challenges, struggles?
Personally, I do, but I'm so lucky to have Brad because, like I said, he's in the labor engineering, so he has so much experience, just construction and all that. So if I ever make a mistake, or I'm like, oh, I really don't know what to do here, I'm like, hey Brad, what would you do here to help me fix it? He shows me, so the next time I run into that, I know exactly what to do. But like every day, yeah, there's something I'm like, some sort of challenge I have to go through, don't know how to do. Any more questions? Yeah.
What would you recommend studying up on before you test, or are there any fake tests you could take?
Yeah, there actually is. I've watched lots of, I'm sure you've heard of Khan Academy videos. So basic like algebra 2, algebra. Brush up on your graphing. That was the hardest part on the test. I was like, I have not looked at any of that forever. The reading, I don't think you can really study up on that. It's just, like I'm sure you do if you do state testing or anything like that. Just paragraphs, and you have to like answer all the questions. Basically just, I've watched lots of math videos and they have practice tests. I think you can, if you really want to get crazy, you can purchase like a practice test that's kind of very similar to what you'll see there. I'd recommend doing stuff like that.
How much math are you actually doing out in the field?
Good question. Obviously you're reading your tape measure, so get good at that. There's lots of like simple math equations you do on the regular, like pipe fill or conduit fill or conduit bending. There's lots of, you have to know the angles and stuff like that. I don't do any crazy math on the day-to-day. No calculus.
Darn it.
It's a lot, the schooling's a lot harder than actually when you get on the job.
Exactly.
They make it pretty difficult, but when you're going through school and the teachers are really well, they teach you really well on how to go through this stuff and figure it all out. It's not that hard. Once you get in, it's not that hard. They basically teach you right there everything.
Yeah,
Get you through your class.
just gotta put effort in to study and stuff like that.
Was it hard as a shy gal getting into this career? I'm asking this for a couple friends in the room.
At first, yes, and especially because we do lots of residential, so we're talking to customers quite a bit. And I would always make Brad do all the talking. Still do for the most part. I'm getting better, way better at
Keep
it.
getting there.
It was hard at first, but you get used to it with the experience. So I don't think being shy should hold anybody back.
How much heavy stuff you doing out there, lifting stuff up?
Oh, not too often. Sometimes we lift like heavy gear, like panels or transformers, or the wire pulls are the hardest that tire me up. The one we did in the baseball field and softball field. That was pretty exhausting. But you get a bunch of strong guys and you don't have to work as hard.
But do you
And you work.
Kind of if you get laid off, if you don't live outside your means, which I'm hoping all you guys have some economics classes and whatnot, it's, I think it's $800 some a week is unemployment. So
It's like the max is like 800.
if you're not working, so to speak, for a month or 2 months, because work's slow, you should be able to, if you budget yourself and your household income, you should be able to afford to be able to do what you want and put some away when you are working. I mean, we make pretty good money, so you shouldn't be spending it all every week anyway. You should be saving some. So we have those slow times. It's not a big deal. It's more so for me, which I haven't been off for quite a few years now, plus I take the time off. It's kind of nice when you get that a little slow work. You're like, hey, I'm gonna go fishing for a couple of weeks, or I'm gonna go do something fun. You know, that's the way I look at it. When you get that time off, you can take it to work on projects around the house or the things you want to do for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't really have.
Right. When you got the skill and the experience, you'll always have work no matter where you go.
And I think that kind of goes pretty much for all the trades. And I was always busy in the other trades too. I never really had a whole bunch of time off. So if you put the effort in your work, you're gonna go where you want to go based off of how much effort you put into it. That goes for college, for work. Even if you guys don't get a job in the trades, you get a job working at, let's say, Les Schwab, right? Be the best you can be there and work yourself up through the chains. Because I know a lot of guys that are well off running big projects because they worked their way through the chains and now they're at the top of those programs. I mean, it could be Walmart, you could be a manager there or something and making decent money there too. You just gotta, don't sit at the bottom, just work your way up, wherever you start out. I mean, it's not easy out there, so it takes time to figure out you guys are probably happy that didn't raise your hand at all, so I'm pretty sure half of you are trying to figure out what you're gonna do once this thing's over. Just take it one day at a time and go out there and find a job and start plucking away at it. Think about the things we're talking about now and think, no, there's other opportunities out there.
Would you find that there are some individuals that find more unemployment than others just because of their work ethic?
Yes.
The same ones that on the list. It's pretty common. There's always a group of guys that are on that list pretty much all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to work, and that's the way you want to live, or you don't want to be money to go do stuff or grind for any more. That's on you.
And Lacey, you started with a different outfit before you worked at Peak, right?
Yes. When I first started, so you don't get, like I said, you don't get to choose. They just sign you up for who you're working for. So I worked for a company called Viking Electric out of Portland, a very small shop. Had like 3 journeymen. I was the only apprentice and a material handler. And it was very similar to Peak, but for one, I was tired of driving to Portland every day. So. And then 2, they just weren't running how I like, so I transferred to somewhere closer.
So you can transfer after a while.
Yeah, after your first year, you're
Yeah.
allowed to rotate. Yes.
Where's the guy?
Peak is in Scappoose. Right there on the highway, across from, there's a gas station on the left as you're going towards Portland, and we're on the right by that new coffee shop.
I got another thing too we're union electricians, and they do have a non-union program. But if you can't get into the union program, there is a non-union side of it. You might be able to get your foot in the door there, and then transfer over. So there's opportunities. You just gotta chase them. Difference between the non-union and the union. The non-union guys sometimes they'll make about the same on their check, give or take a little bit, but they don't have the benefit package that we do. So, like, if I'm getting paid $70 an hour, they may pay their guys $70 or even $72 an hour, but I'm getting 120 because I'm getting about 50 of that is in benefits. That means I get a vacation pay, I get health care, retirement. So I get a vacation. I get like if I work it's based off of hours of vacation pay. So like I'll get close to $5 grand a year just on vacation pay that I can pull out whenever I want and go. I usually go looking, but stuff whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? So that difference is those guys may make more on their check, but they don't have those extra benefits. A lot of times those guys have to pay for their own health care, which once you guys get out there, health care is expensive. Everything's expensive. You gotta make good money. And starting out, in the trades, you don't have the college debt as one benefit to it. They're paying for you. If you're working for them, that's kind of how it works. I'm not trying to deter you from going to college. If you're good at that and you're good in the books, I know buddies that have done really well, better than I have, you know, but you got to put the effort in. And one of them should have took me like 10 years there, so it's a lot of debt, and I think he's probably got it paid off now, but it's been a while. So,
My church.
How do you get into material handling while you're waiting to test?
yeah, if you go into the Union Hall or look up IDW Local 48, and then channel, I should be able to find the link, or contact them there, give them a call. And that's the big thing too. I know you guys are probably, I know at your guys' age, I was nervous about calling people. Like, oh, I don't know what to say to this guy. I'm so-and-so, you know, it doesn't hurt to call. I mean, even if you sound stupid, you hang up the phone and laugh about it afterwards. Oh, whatever. I'll make that mistake next time, or I won't make that mistake next time. You know, that's what it takes sometimes. Having that, taking the initiative, do it yourself.
And you might not even have to go through that program. I think you probably just call up shops and see if they need an expert in material handling.
Yeah, it's awesome. Try a phone call. It's in Portland off the airport way. Not the exact address, but if you look up IDW Local 48, Portland, Oregon, it'll pop up right there. Yeah, I mean, and there's plumbers, there's all kinds of different trades out there. Just look around and,
You need every trade to build
yeah, there's
America.
a lot less people that are doing it, which,
And there's lots of people that begin doing it and they're gonna retire. So we're not gonna have all those plumbers and electricians and HVAC guys. They're not retired. We need all the new workforce to come in, so. Don't dismiss the trades.
got anything else?
Yes.
I know ID 48 is mostly out of Portland, but as an apprentice or even a journeyman, would it be possible to work in Astoria or somewhere further down in Oregon?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have local, same local down at the coast too. They have jurisdictions, but again, there's a Wadsworth, there's a few of them down there that are all union shops. So you get to work out the same deal.
You can even be like what do you call it, traveling electrician. Go working in other states too.
That's one good thing about the Oregon. If you get an Oregon license, like he's gonna get, and I've already got, they're probably one of the hardest licenses to get. Once you get it, you can pretty much work almost anywhere in the United States with that license. It's a lot harder to get. Probably because we have some war around here to get us. You guys have any other questions?
Is the 48
I'm not sure where 290 is at, local 290, I'm not sure. Walton area?
I didn't know if they were like.
No, they're definitely not connected to it. That's a good union too. I mean, there's another good one. If you guys are looking for it, electrician's not the only one out there.
Yeah, just down the road from our union hall, I think it's local 23, he's the elevator constructor. My boyfriend's in that. He just joined like 2 years ago, and he loves it. Makes real good money.
And that's a specialty one too. Some of these, you can get, and the electricians, there's so much different stuff you can do. You can specialize in just one component of it. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, once you get to that point, and we do a lot of different stuff around here. So we kind of get, if I kind of like it, it's not the same thing every day. I get bored working at the same spot, putting the same stuff up every day.
Yeah, another good point is that once you get your journeyman card, 4 or 5 years down the road, you can take your supervisor test, right? And then once you get that, it's your supervisor card, you can open up your own company if you're ever interested in that. Do your own thing, your own schedule every day. I think that's what eventually I'll do.
Guys all ready to go somewhere? End of the year's coming, huh? Any other questions?
Don't be shy. Yes. What's my day-to-day schedule like? Trying to think of what I've done this week. In a commercial building, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We didn't work Monday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, we were doing a 600 amp new service on this building and a panel change. Getting all the circuits in the panel. And really bad at troubleshooting, solving the problems. I love kitchen remodels. Like, it's so cool to see the crappy little kitchen turn into this beautiful masterpiece. And I'm like, I did that. Yeah.
When you get into ID 38, do they provide tools for you at all, or do you have to show up with your own?
Great question. So once you, I think right when you do the boot camp, they have like a little baggie with what they call the tools on the tool list. You're gonna use that during your two-week boot camp, and then at the end, they'll give you a brand new bag and all the tools on the tool list. So through our union, you're not required to have buy your team your own tools that are not on the tool list. So your company is supposed to provide all the power drills and all that.
What about protective equipment?
They will provide that too.
Would you recommend buying your own tools and stuff, or?
That's preference.
Preference.
I buy some of my own stuff because I just like it better.
Better sometimes.
But for the most part, the general tools are not bad. It's like pliers. I like certain ones better than I like other ones.
And
So
they feel better in your hands sometimes.
yeah, the stripper, she's got a little lock thing on there that hey, from every time I borrow them. But that's kind of the preference for tools. You know, you get what you like. And you'll get more familiar with that if you're in the trade and you're using tools. You'll be like, oh, this is a really nice one. I'm gonna keep this one.
Sometimes on the bigger jobs at Intel, they're really picky about when you bring your own tools that aren't on the tool list. So just be careful with that.
Anything else?
Oh, so you got to give her a big applause. Nice go, people. Well done.